Hello, good morning, everyone. How are you? My name is Cardy Chung. I'm the founder, dude, and CEO of StreetPricer. Welcome to our webinar this morning. So joining me this morning, we have Erin from Listing Mirror. Erin, hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Cardy?
Yeah, good. Thank you. So Erin is the co-founder and COO of Listing Mirror. Um, this morning, today, we're going to talk about multi-channel because I really think in today's e-commerce environment, multi-channel, it is a critical success factor. If you're a seller, if you're not already selling multi-channel, I think that should be the number one project that you're working on right now. Um,
Absolutely.
Yep. Multi-channel can increase your revenue and also decrease your reliance on one single platform or one single marketplace. So,
Mhm.
Erin, when I was a seller myself prior to starting StreetPricer, okay, if there was a self-criticism, it would be that I did not go multi-channel. I was just selling on one channel because, quite frankly, I didn't know about Listing Mirror. I had a look at some software. It's just too hard. I couldn't work it out. It just if only I knew about Listing Mirror back then. So
Right.
the StreetPricer and Listing Mirror story started about 3 years ago, wasn't it, Erin? It was before COVID.
Yeah.
I remember I was actually doing some market research on all the different multi-channel e-commerce platforms, and Listing Mirror, they really caught my eyes because I liked the product, I liked the features, I liked the pricing, and I liked Brian and Erin because Brian and Erin they started Listing Mirror how many years ago, Erin?
In 2016, so we're just over
Six.
6 years old.
Sure. Okay. So you guys started like 1 year before us. So I really liked the product. So we started talking together, two companies, and how can we add value to our customers. And then fast forward to about I think a year ago. So our development teams they committed and they put integration together. We're now integration partners. We're tightly integrated. Listing Mirror works on our browser extension as well. So today's webinar format is going to be a little different. Okay, so we're not gonna. So Erin and I, we decided that we're not going to bore you guys with boring presentations. Instead, we're going to have a list of questions that we would be asking one another. I actually have prepared a list of questions that I would really, really want to ask Erin on behalf of the StreetPricer users.
Hmm.
And I think apparently, allegedly, Erin would have a couple of questions that she wanted to ask me as well, which I would be very happy to answer.
Hmm.
So, and guys, feel free to send your questions in via the chat channel. We have a moderator, Lindy. Lindy's here taking your questions. It'll be feeding to us at the Q&A uh, time. So without further ado, so Erin, are you ready? I've got a couple of
I'm
questions
ready.
yep, I really want to
I'll
ask
do my
you.
best.
Okay, good, good. Okay, let's go. So number one, okay. So I understand Listing Mirror is not pitched at the the channel advisor and the ultra high end. There's a place for that. Yeah, we get it. But at the same time, you guys are not like the $29 a month software either. So can you tell us what would be the typical profile of a Listing Mirror customer?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, thank you so much for asking me to join you and for asking Listing Mirror to join you. This is a great opportunity just to tell people more about our software and kind of like our niche in this, very wide landscape that I feel like it keeps growing every day. So thank you so much. Yeah. So what makes Listing Mirror different than like a $29 tool is well, I would say mainly it's the power that is behind the software. So, with a small tool that you're not paying much for, that's just doing one thing. So let's say like a very common one would be like some sort of tool that is just in charge of uh, let's say posting your simple Amazon listings to eBay or your simple eBay listings to Amazon. Just slaps a bunch of data around, and there's not a lot of intelligence that goes into it necessarily. And also usually you can only like post one of the images from your listing, or just very, very simple stuff. So what we've done is we've taken that concept, but we've really fleshed it out to be way more useful to sellers who need to sell multi-channel for the success of their business. So that involves all of your listing data, all the bullet points, all the pricing, all the images, your description, your images. I already mentioned images, but yeah, it gets all of that, the category that things are listed in. And then we very intelligently can move that data to the appropriate fields for the other channels that you're listing on. So, you can hear in our name, Listing Mirror, that is, that's really what the, beginning idea of Listing Mirror was to really make an intelligent solution for the actual listing data itself. Through that process, we also realized that, hey, people also need intelligent inventory management, and we need powerful inventory management, not just a let's sync once an hour, depending on, a few different factors. Maybe it'll be more than that, and if you want it to be more than that, you're going to have to pay more money, this whole game of marketing thing. Instead, we just turn it into, no, we need to have powerful syncing properties, integrated into the Listing Mirror software and built directly in. And so what we did then is we built the portion of the software that does inventory management. So syncing as often as we can. Of course, there are, API thresholds and things like that, but as syncing as often as we can. The way that I talk about it is that we have a continuous syncing process. So we're always syncing something. We're always looking for order updates and updating them across. So for instance, an order comes in on Amazon, we would update inventory on the other channels as soon as we could, and then the last thing would just be the pricing aspect. So how do you want to handle your pricing? Are we syncing your pricing the same across all channels? Do you have a repricer connected like StreetPricer, things like that? So and there are, I would say, like, those are like some of the main things that we do, but there are also a lot of other, more involved and more specific to your business features that we can do as well. And we also offer a lot of customizations. So those are a few things that make us more a tool that is different than a $29 tool, but also very different than a channel advisor, where you're joining this huge system that really has to be set up uniquely for your business and take months and months to even get to where it's useful for you. Listing Mirror can be set up a lot more simply than that. So we're kind of in the center of that, I would say.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head, because it was exactly for me. When I was running my e-commerce business, I didn't want to go with Channel Advisor, but at the same time, I looked at the $29 software. They just didn't do the job anyway.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Second question. So, what marketplaces do you guys support, and what countries do you operate in?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing I would say is check out our website, because I know I'm going to forget a couple. So if you just go to listingmirror.com and you look at the integrations page, that will give you, the most comprehensive list. But the ones that are most common for our sellers are Amazon channels, and that would be I would say basically any channel where any country where Amazon has a presence, you can connect that to Listing Mirror. There are a couple, I think, that are like still in progress, but if it's available, we're at least working on it, and 95% sure we've already got it in our system.
Sure.
And then eBay, and that would include all of the countries where eBay has a presence as well. Walmart. So for Walmart, we have US Walmart and also Walmart Canada. And then some smaller platforms that are also popular are places like Etsy, if you're selling handmade goods. Reverb, which is a musical instrument.
Reverb as well.
Selling,
okay.
yes. And then a lot of web stores as well. So our favorite one is Shopify because we feel like it gives the most flexibility and is easiest to connect to a third-party service like ListingMirror. But a lot of our users also use WooCommerce and BigCommerce. Those are a couple other ones as well. So our goal is to not tackle every marketplace on the planet, but really make sure that we can handle the heavy hitters. And so we're always looking at, what integrations make sense next. So,
Sure.
we also have a Wish integration. Some people will want to go that direction. And so, it kind of just depends on who you are as a business in terms of what makes sense, which marketplaces make sense, but those are some of our bigger ones.
Okay, so my next question would be, so run me through a practical scenario, because I understand that you guys are really putting a lot of effort into the ease of use. So if I sell on Amazon and I like to diversify, and I also like to sell on eBay and Walmart as well. So what do I have to do? What would I do?
So are you? I'll just talk you through kind of like the most straightforward onboarding process. So the first thing that you would want to make sure is that you have selling credentials for any channel where you want to sell that you're not already selling. So
have
that's a
an
question I
account with
get asked a
eBay and
lot.
Walmart. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Okay.
you have to have all of that set up. That's not something that ListingMirror does for you.
Sure.
And just like your eBay account, if you're an eBay seller, or just like your Amazon account, if you're an Amazon seller, you are still responsible for upholding things like your customer service and things like that. And so what ListingMirror does is we handle the actual listing data getting to the channel, and then we handle the inventory as well. So typically the most straightforward onboarding process is that we would import your catalog from Amazon. So we would make a one-time import of your Amazon listings. That would create a product catalog inside of ListingMirror. Once we have that product catalog, you determine which listings are going to go to which channels. So you could want to list your whole catalog on your eBay and your Walmart platforms, if those are the channels that you're selling on. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to start off with a subset of my listings. And that's actually what I recommend for getting started. Start off with a few listings, learn the process, because it is, it's easy for me to market list all your products everywhere, but really you as a business have to understand what actually makes sense for my business and the position that we're in, and how much volume can I handle. And it's not just about sales volume, it's also how much additional work and mental load can I put on myself to learn a new marketplace, because there are some differences. Maybe you want to use the same images, but it doesn't necessarily always make sense to use the same description or the same title. Or the same pricing, of course. So, those are things just to be mindful of. So in ListingMirror, you'll determine which listings are moved to a new marketplace. And that's just with a couple clicks. You can just, with a couple clicks, you can get the listing data created into the format that makes sense for eBay or Walmart. And we will try to create the listing. And I would say, let's say maybe 90% of the time, the listing can go live as is. There's no other data needed. But then for that other 10%, maybe there's a little bit of work that you would need to do. So that could be things like adding a little bit of data. So a very common one for eBay sellers especially is the category custom fields.
Item
so
specifics.
This would be things, item specifics, yeah. So it's fields that we couldn't have pulled from an Amazon listing because the format for them doesn't exist. So that's just where you just select something from the drop down inside of ListingMirror. We make it very obvious to you what has to be filled out and what is optional. And then you're looking at everything inside of the ListingMirror platform. So you don't have to you're not managing your listings and inventory on eBay and Walmart. You're doing all of that inside of ListingMirror. We are in charge of syncing that data then to the other marketplaces.
That will be so nice. So actually, one place, one single source of truth, and all the data is held at ListingMirror. Once I've made the change, it will be pushed out and propagated to the other channels.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
That is nice. Next question. So the customer service, would I do that on Amazon and eBay separately, or would I do it in ListingMirror?
Yeah, so that portion we don't handle. There are definitely other services that that would, could be used alongside of Listing Mirror to handle the customer service aspect. But I think most of our sellers that use Listing Mirror are doing that directly on the channels where they sell.
It probably makes more sense anyway. So my next question would be, how do I keep track of the sales and profitability? So I would imagine you would have like a dashboard of some sort that
We
I can look at
do.
my Amazon sales and eBay sales and Walmart sales. Is that right?
Yes. Yep. So there are a couple different things that you can use Listing Mirror for in terms of tracking that kind of stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
for sales volume, sales over time, sales by channel, things like that. Yes, we do. We have a really nice dashboard, and it's super informative about what's going on your selling channels, which products are selling the best, things like that. Um, and then for profitability, that's a feature that we're still working on. We'd love to, be able to get something out to our sellers in terms of profitability. But the other feature that we do have that is useful to a lot of sellers is our forecasting feature.
That's
So
nice.
forecasting,
Yeah.
just understanding what do you need to buy for the next quarter, to have enough in stock. And so we just recently did a webinar on our end about our forecasting feature to kind of talk people through that.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so I would say it's kind of a mix. Usually the thing is most sellers, by the time you are at a volume of sales and a level of experience with multi-channel selling or even just with e-commerce selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the time you're at a level where it makes sense to add a tool like Listing Mirror, you very likely already have a system in place for managing your sales, profitability, things like that. And so we don't always, our sellers aren't always looking for Listing Mirror to do that. And so that have, those features I think have been just trickling in a little bit more slowly because more of our established sellers are not necessarily looking for that kind of function from a tool like Listing Mirror.
Yeah. So if I go multi-channel, it has to be an increase in sales, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
opening up another channel. It has to be. The question is how much. Is that right? Is that your experience as well?
Yeah. So there have been, I think what you're asking is like, have we actually helped people grow their businesses
Yeah.
larger? And yes, absolutely, we have. I would say a good way to think of it, and we did a case study recently with the Amazon MCF team just about how Listing Mirror helped them by opening up the door to other channels because Listing Mirror has a very commonly used feature where Amazon sellers can use their FBA inventory to fill orders from their other channels. So
Ooh, that is
for
nice.
say you get your eBay orders, and this
Yeah.
is an international feature. So for instance, if you have a UK eBay and Amazon, add those to Listing Mirror. When you get eBay orders, we can automatically send them to Amazon, fill them, and get them sent out to your eBay buyers. So and
Wow,
of
that
course
is
there's fee
nice.
structure involved in that and such,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a huge weight off of many sellers, many
Absolutely.
small businesses that,
Yeah.
can't manage the increase in sales volume and then such like that. So it, makes sense for those businesses. And I can't remember, maybe Lindy could even like post a link to this case study, just because it was really interesting just to see how much Listing Mirror had helped his business grow. And,
Yeah.
just the percentage that we had helped him grow over the last couple of years was
Oh.
astronomical. But the other thing is, I like to always think also, not only, but also in terms of what are maybe some of the more intangible um, bonuses or intangible differences that we can make for your business. And a lot of that is just about like your daily stress. What does that look like? And
Efficiency and automation, right?
efficiencies, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
automating things,
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't mean that you have no work, but it means that it changes your work to be way more manageable for you.
Absolutely.
And so things like that, I think, are good considerations as well
Yeah.
when you're, selecting a service.
Yeah. So what's the typical price point for Listing Mirror? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So our pricing is pricing is so tricky with software, but right now what we have decided to do is to base our pricing based on the number of orders that you have coming through that are not FBA orders. So it would not include an FBA is, if your audience isn't familiar, it's fulfilled by Amazon is what it stands for. And it's the inventory that's sitting in an Amazon warehouse that is being shipped when you get orders for your stock that's on Amazon. So we don't count those orders, but any MCF order that we're helping you fill, and then any order that is filled by your warehouse, those are the orders that we're counting toward your total. So our most common plan is our Plus plan, and that's $289 a month. That includes all of our features, including the forecasting feature I was talking about, and all of our channels. You can add multiple channels, even of the same type of marketplace. So, different eBay countries or things like that. You can add as many channels as you need and as many SKUs. So your catalog can be as big as you need it to be, as big as you want it to be. Then on the other hand, we have a light plan. So LITE, and you can look at our pricing on our website as well. And that's $99 a month. It's a little bit more slimmed down. So you don't get all the fancy features, and it just includes two channels, but it could be really useful for someone who's just, newer to multi-channel selling and really just trying to get it off of the ground, to really just help you, get started and make sure that Listing Mirror is the right tool for you as well.
So if I pay $289 a month, and let's say my average margin would be, say, 15%. So it's really only $2,000 a month of sales. That would pay for itself, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That is
usually what the kind of like the target I would say to look at is what is your gross sales volume per month. So let's say I think typically right around the $50,000 mark is what we consider to be like a good place to be, where you're really well established, and then it's not a huge undertaking for you to add this additional, charge to your business. And it changes the landscape so much in terms of what you're able to do and your growth. So
do you guys charge for onboarding?
We don't. Onboarding is included, as well as our great customer service team. So that's a huge part of this too, is it is really difficult to set all of this stuff up by yourself. You may know what your goal is, you may know where you're trying to go, how you want to have it set up, but every software is different. Our terms are different sometimes, so maybe you don't recognize them, or maybe there's like settings and stuff that just don't make sense. So all of that part is included in your pricing for the month.
Oh, that's nice, because the ethos of our two companies are very similar. We don't charge for onboarding either. It's basically whatever it takes. If it takes 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions, so be it, right? We're not satisfied until the job is done. So, good on you. Okay. So finally, my last question. So what would be the feature that, like the standout feature that, if someone is looking at a, multi-channel software, they look at this, wow, I want that. So what would be the feature that Listing Mirror has?
Oh my goodness. I feel like there's a lot of them, but probably the one I hear most often is that people come to us because they've tried another software and they're frustrated by it. And the one comment that I get very often about the Listing Mirror software is our accuracy and inventory syncing. So, always making sure that things are staying in sync, and always being able to give you an answer if for some reason something does oversell. We don't just throw up our hands. We're going to figure out what's going on, and we want to make sure that we are doing the best job that we can do. And then the secondary thing would just be our team. So getting to interact with us, and we want you to, we want to have communication with you. We want to know how we're helping your business. We want to know when things aren't working. And those conversations are really important to us.
Nice. Okay. So that's all from me.
Okay.
Apparently you have something to ask me as well. So
yeah.
so okay, I'm ready to
absolutely.
return serve. Okay.
Okay, awesome. So I was just trying to think of questions that I'm getting
Hmm.
about StreetPricer from our customer base, or that things that I just wish people would know. So
Sure.
um, what I would love to know from you on the outside is, can you talk to me a little bit about how the StreetPricer repricer connects into Listing Mirror, and kind of like what that relationship is like?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. Thank you. So we've got a connector that connects to Listing Mirror. The connector synchronizes data with Listing Mirror every 24 hours. So if you enable it, you'll see the next sync schedule. There's a certain time and date. And
Hmm.
then we also, by the way, we also keep record of the last 3 synchronization in case something goes wrong. Okay, you can do a rollback. So we always take a snapshot of what was before we do the synchronization, so we know what's before and what's after. And during a synchronization, so we pull data from Listing Mirror. It is all via API, so the connection, the pipe it's virtually unlimited. um, so um, so we can pull the data such as your cost of goods, your brand, your selling prices. Basically, any figure, any data that you have within Listing Mirror, you can bring them into StreetPricer. The reason for bringing them into StreetPricer is you probably want to calculate your
Yeah.
min and max prices based on formulas. Or if you have map pricing or something, if you have MSRP, you want to push them out, you can all bring them in and use your formula, and it's all flexible. You can assign a certain formula to a brand or a group of brands. You can apply map pricing to a brand or a group of brands, or products that fit into certain criteria.
Hmm.
And then we do our repricing. And once the repricing is done, we push the pricing back to Listing Mirror, and we let Listing Mirror forward the pricing onto Amazon and eBay and Walmart. That way, we maintain the data integrity all the way. Because if that was not the case, you probably end up having a situation that we change the pricing on Amazon, but Listing Mirror doesn't know about it, and therefore it's out of sync. So with the native
Right.
integration, everything is all automated, it's all synchronized. Um, it's just really easy to use. So that is the reason why we're integration partners, and we deliver values to our customers through
Sweet.
automation. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I love that. And yeah, you're totally right. And that's spot on. It's so nice when you are a service provider,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to give really good answers when people are like, why does this number look like this? How did the price get to this, or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And when we aren't sure what other integrations are connected, or where things are connected, or how things are connected, it can sometimes get really tricky to know how to problem solve. And so it is an amazing partnership to be able to know that, okay, anything that StreetPricer updates, we're going to see it in Listing Mirror first. Listing Mirror is still the source of truth for your
Mm-hmm.
data,
Mm-hmm.
and then we are in charge of syncing it out to the marketplaces.
Yeah.
So it helps us with a lot of things. So that's a great thing to
Yeah.
have. Um, so what makes, kind of like the question that you asked me about,
Okay.
what's my space, or what is Listing Mirrors, like, is it a specific angle? What makes StreetPricer unique? What is your unique angle in the marketplace?
So we are a multi-channel repricer. So
Mm-hmm.
we reprice on Amazon, eBay. Walmart is coming out in the first week of October, and Amazon Business will be coming out in November. So all of the 4 different marketplaces, so Amazon, eBay, Walmart, and Amazon Business, they're all
Mm-hmm.
4 separate engines. They run independently. They can run different logics, different min and max prices. It's actually, imagine, um, you know, imagine a car that is powered by 4 different engines, all working independently, and they're all like the best repricer in their own rights. For example, our Amazon repricer, our reprice response time is like 50 times faster than the nearest fastest competitor, because all the other competitors say that the best one before we came along, they said the best they could do was about like a minute and a half, 90 seconds, right? Whereas in our repricing, we reprice in a matter of like, typically under 1 second. So it is like, we say 50 times faster. And also when we launched our Amazon repricer, that was about like more than a year ago. We benchmarked against all the other major competitors out there to make sure that we win more buy boxes. Because if you sell on Amazon, that's what it's all about, right? So we spent a lot of time fine-tuning our AI algorithm to make sure that we win you more buy boxes. So to the point that if you come to our website, you will see that we guarantee that you win more buy boxes. So we're the best Amazon repricer by far. We're really easy to use, very, very intuitive interface. And then for eBay, we are the kind of undisputed best eBay repricer. There aren't that many eBay repricers out there, and we're certainly one of the best. And we did a joint project with eBay US, the team at San Jose, I think about 2 years ago, to launch a repricer to the marketplace. So we're the only repricer that was chosen by eBay for that project. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so Congrats. Our software is very smart, very easy to use, and very fast, and best of breed, So
yeah, okay.
Next.
Good to know.
Question.
And let's see. So when a listing mirror client comes to StreetPricer, what can they expect from that experience? How long does it take to get set up? What kind of tweaks might they want to make, and how long before they start seeing, before they start seeing the effects of the repricer working?
So first of all, our 2 teams, they work together. We're very familiar with the Listing Mirror software. So we can really support a Listing Mirror customer, no problem. Setup typically takes a couple of if I do it myself, I can do it in an afternoon. But it typically it takes probably 2 to 3 days. I think for a new sign up, they come in, they have a play for like half an hour or something, come back tomorrow, and then do some setting up, and then we help them. So typically, in a matter of like days, like 2 to 3 days, we expect things to be up and running in 2 to 3 days. And then actually seeing the result, we suggest our customers to actually do a before snapshot and after snapshot and compare the preceding 7 days versus the 7 days running with us. So usually you probably see like the effect of good repricing straight away. So in that 7-day period, you will see a jump in sales, especially if you are repricing competitively, because we just win more buy boxes. End of story. So
yeah, okay. That's pretty fast to be able to see the effects of a repricer and see your sales increase. So that's
pricing
awesome.
is the number one criteria, right? If you get your pricing right, you will get more sales. And that is just the fact of life. And by the way, if you get your pricing right, not only do you get more sales, you also get more profit. Because the most common misconception is that it is a race to the bottom, but it is not. Because we have profit optimizer, we have velocity-based repricing. So if you are selling too cheaply, if you're selling too fast, if you don't have any competitors, we can actually push your prices up. And the same goes with Amazon. Even if you have won the buy box, our profit optimizer will try to nudge your pricing up. If you got the buy box at $75, we'll try 75.50, 76, 77, 79 or something. Keep trying until to the point that we're still maintaining the buy box. So that good repricing will increase your sales and your profitability.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It almost makes me want to become a seller. instead of doing listing mirror.
Sure.
Maybe in my next life.
Sure.
Okay, so one last question for you. What's one thing that you wish sellers understood about StreetPricer that feels hard to communicate on your website, or just in a little snapshot on your in your platform? What's one thing that you wish that they understood?
It was just covered by what I just said. Okay, I wish they
Okay.
really could, like, well, I wish, because no marketing job can convey how easy it is to use StreetPricer, because we spent a lot of time making sure that it is easy to use, it is intuitive, they come in, they feel right at home. So we spend a lot of time. It's actually really easy to set up, and it's really easy to switch to StreetPricer, because it's like driving a car. It's like the handling.
Sure.
People would say that this car handles really well, but you don't really know. You can't convey it through marketing unless you actually try to drive the car. So I would say, sellers, come in as soon as you come to try to drive the car, you would appreciate how good it is, how effective it is, how easy it is to use. I think that is the one thing that I wish, that people would know about.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's hard to convey that,
yeah. So
So well, that's great.
anything else? Come on, give me more.
That was all of the questions that I came up with. I didn't. Have you thought of anything else?
No. Lindy, do we have any questions on the floor? Where's Lindy?
Yep. So it looks like we have maybe one conversation here.
Sure.
This is not exactly, this isn't necessarily a question for us, but what someone says that they have a bad signal. Are we planning to send out a recording of this afterwards?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No problem.
Okay, so the questions, the question that I do see is, does ListingMirror allow for the user to schedule new listings at a certain date and time with an interval between listings? Well, Lindy sent me a question that I don't really know the answer to. So, I mean, we don't have like a timer feature specifically. I'm trying to think of.
That's a really good question. I
I know
like
you
it.
can do. It is a really good question, and I'm sure that it's unique to the seller who asked it. Trying to think of the best way that you would handle something like this inside of ListingMirror. So I'm assuming that this is like maybe you're selling like one-off items or something like that, and you're wanting to time things specifically. The only marketplace. Oh, Lindy's got some messages in here for me. Okay, so Lindy says we do this, but only for Shopify right now. However, I will say this, we're always looking to add more features and to customize for actual sellers, not just, to have cool features to market. So if this is something that is very necessary to your business and you want to talk about it more, what I would say is the best thing that you can do is to send an email to me. So Erin at listingmirror.com. And we'll make sure that we send this information in the follow-up email as well, so that you have our contact info. But yeah, that sounds really interesting and really useful. So
sure. And any questions regarding repricing, you can direct the questions to me. I'm Cardy, Cardy, Cardy at streetpricer.com. Erin, I think we are running pretty much close to the time that we would like to run the webinar. I think we probably better wrap it up, and
sure.
I'll let our audience to get on with the rest of the days. So I would thank you for joining me, Erin, for an informative session, and thank you, Lindy, for organizing the questions on the chat channel. And is there anything else you would like to say?
Just thanks again. Thank you so much for the great conversation and for letting me talk about our great software.
Yeah, and the same from me as well. So thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for your time, and look forward to seeing you again next time. So, all right, have a good day. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.